sitting closest to the screen, who still to this moment just sat there, motionless, just staring at the
People like
screen.
just out of instinct. I'm yeah, yes sir, welcome. Today we're doing something new, we're doing something different. I've been brainstorming, I've been thinking about some things that I can do to add to the channel that I also would love to do and that I would like, and I think the community would like, or at least I hope y'all would like it. Yes, today we're introducing a new series, and I'm calling it Fright Night Friday. So every Friday I'm going to have either videos to watch or a game to play, and sometimes we might mix them. I would love to do like almost like a like if we're doing like a show type thing, like do like a movie night type of thing every Friday to get the community involved. So I'm going to set these up for premieres now, right, so that we can always like interact in the comment section as it's going on live. But I would love to eventually get to a point to where like I'm doing like a live stream on Fridays with the community, like a community day type of thing, and we're watching like some scary stuff or playing a scary game for Friday Night Fridays. And I would also love to start having you guys submit in like the comment section or something like that, some of the things that you guys see that you think that would be scary to watch or scary to play or anything like that. So hopefully this takes off and you guys enjoy it and we can build that, because I would love to be able to build that for the community. I want to start being a little bit more engaging in the community versus just the comments that we have on the videos that play out. But yes, Fright Night Fridays today, with it being the premiere episode, we're going to have, there's 4 videos, 4 short horror stories. I hope that you guys enjoy them. But like I said, it's the first, so it's the pilot episode for today, and every Friday after I'm going to be having those videos up. And like I said, if you guys see anything, come across anything, any videos, or it doesn't matter how long it is, if you see like a short TikTok or whatever it may be, all the way to something that's 20-30 plus minutes long, and you think that, oh, that would be good for Black to do on Fright Night Fridays, let me know in the comment section. Drop it in the comment section, let me know. My email is also in the in my bio for the YouTube channel, so if you want to send it via email, you can do that as well. So check that out. But yes, let's get into this. Animated by Thriller Teller. Grotesque. I think that was the first name. I even know the first name. Grotesque.
It was 2:25 a.m. I sat at my laptop aimlessly, scrolling as the minutes dragged by. Only 3 more hours left until I needed to start getting ready for a long day of work. I leaned back in my chair and cracked my neck. As I heard the tension being released, I contemplated crawling into my bed and calling it a night, but my overstimulated brain was still rushing after several hours of scrolling through endless tweets, half reading Reddit posts, and hitting the next recommended video on YouTube. I eventually found myself in the deadly cycle of switching between the homepage and the inbox page on Facebook. I reached across the table and took a long swig of my now flat Pepsi, then lurched as I felt a trickle running down my chin and onto my exposed keyboard. Quickly using the sleeve of my hoodie, I frantically wiped off the keys that the sugary liquid splashed onto. I really need to stop snacking at my computer, I thought to myself as I observed the menu.
I had a MacBook that I literally dropped 1,000 times. I used to toss and it like bounce off the bed and hit the floor real hard. Never, no issue with it. I spilled alcohol on it one time, That boy Fright gone. So I know her keyboard gone.
Any crumbs scattered between the keys.
It gotta be gone. If that
Don't
keyboard's
judge
still
me.
working afterwards.
I'm sure you have done it too.
What is this?
After
Look
looking
like
over my somewhat cleaner
a Republic
keyboard
of
with
Gamers laptop.
satisfaction,
Did you know how
I
they
looked
got
back
the
onto
little
the
thick
screen.
bases,
A massive
if you
jumble
know
of
what
letters
I'm
were
saying.
strewn across the
But
Google
the front
search
looks
bar
like a Chromebook.
as a result of my late
Back
night
looked like a
keyboard
gaming
scrubbing
laptop. Front
session.
looked like a Chromebook. What's going on?
I briefly considered Googling my own name for the third time that night, but then decided that those 3 hours of sleep might be just enough to get me through my next 8-hour shift.
Get it through. Get it through.
As I was about to stand up, a small square suddenly appeared in the corner of my screen. It was plain white with a red frame, with the bold letters flashing from blue to red,
Close your
reading,
computer. Probably get some
"This link will
spyware too. 'Cause
disappear in 60 seconds." Below, a small timer began counting down from 60 to 59 to 58.
yeah, you need some strong spyware. I suggest web.
Nice try. Probably some low-budget website or internet scam trying to trick me into taking their
Thanks.
surveys or giving out my credit card information so that I can win that free new iPad.
Everybody
The numbers
saying
counted down from 40 to
on
39 to
click
38.
this link.
As the numbers counted down, my curiosity of where that link will take me began to grow. I hovered the mouse over the box, then stopped myself. What if clicking this link would install some virus onto my computer?
I mean, if your computer already got that popping up on there, there's a good chance the virus then started manifesting itself.
I
like a
reached
spirit.
for the top of my screen and began to close it. What if it was the
Why is
FBI
she
trying to
really
bait me
sitting
into
here like,
clicking a
who doing
link
all
to
this?
an
I guess she did
illegal
say her brain
website?
was what'd she say? Overanalyzing, over
Just as the
analytic,
screen was about to meet my
hyperdrive,
keyboard,
whatever
I
she
stopped.
said. Her brain just be thinking, doing too much.
What
Because
if
right
it
now, that's
really
exactly what she
was
knew.
a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?
Who's really
and by
sitting at
clicking
their
this link,
laptop
I would
thinking
get the
about all
chance
this
to
before
view
they close it?
something no one has ever seen before. The thought
bad
of
is
never
this?
knowing where that link would
Thought I
take
saw
me
something
is
outside.
going to drive me crazy.
My bad. My
And I
bad.
could surely see myself losing sleep over it. I slowly lifted my laptop screen again
Well, we had
and
2
saw
seconds
the
now.
numbers count down from 5 to 4 to 3 and clicked the link just as the timer reached 1.
I just don't understand why this was so intriguing for her.
A new tab appeared on my screen as what looked like a video began buffering.
Lights flickering. Oh man, you can got that was a link to fucking Underworld, apparently. Oh my goodness. Look at him. How did he get in there? He spawned in there? And she's still like, oh, look at his hands, man. Look at his
I blinked in
hands.
confusion
Look like spaghetti noodles.
as all I saw was a very dark video feed with a blinking red dot in the corner of the screen next to the words live. I stared at it for a few seconds, trying to make out what exactly I was supposed to be looking at. It
Your
appeared
death.
to be the shape of someone's silhouette.
Are we not going to address the figure
Did the
in the
link
back?
bring me to a
Like,
live stream chat
we
with
focused
some
on
random
the
person?
normal looking person in front. We just going to ignore the demon looking creature
Hello?
behind them.
Hello? Hello?
Is that her? Do he steal shadows or something?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, that's her. So is this a reality?
The person on the other end of the stream just sat there as I heard my voice echo from my computer speakers. It kind of sounded like when you're on the phone with someone and they have their volume
we
turned
still
up
ain't
so you
addressed
can hear your
this
voice
figure in
repeating
the
while you're
back, and
talking
it's just
to them.
really bothering me.
I sat there for a full minute, not saying anything, waiting for the person in the live stream to respond. or move or do pretty much anything. They just sat there the whole time, barely moving. Then from the corner of the screen, I saw another figure standing in the background.
Just not understanding. Like, you're just now seeing this figure that's been on the screen the whole time.
At first, the second figure just stood there, unmoving, then began to sway back and forth.
Yeah, you gotta get up out of there.
The figure behind no longer seemed human.
It didn't seem
Its
human at all.
movement was
Period.
just too strange and
I just
unnatural.
don't understand this woman's logic right now.
This continued for another minute. Then it stopped and went rigid.
Upright.
Its head began to twitch to the side every so often, becoming faster and more rapid.
She about to be up out of here.
The other figure just sat there motionless, as
That's
if
you.
unaware of what's going on behind it.
Same scenario.
I
That's you.
then shifted my gaze to the figure behind, as it began to slowly walk closer and closer to the person sitting closest to the screen, who still to this moment just sat there, motionless, just staring at the
People, like,
screen.
just out of instinct, I'm checking everything just out of instinct. Like, why wouldn't you turn around? Like, I don't get it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. It's gonna say boo. Oh my goodness.
My heart began to race. Why don't they notice what's going on?
I just don't understand how she ain't looked around yet. Is it about to eat her?
Are they drugged? Is this some kind of prank? Or some sick
trying to
film
dodge the
being
jump scare
streamed
that's
on the
about to
dark
come.
web by some psychopath? I wanted to yell out to that person, warning them of the figure standing dangerously close to them, whose movement was no doubt not human. God,
My bad. I gotta definitely get this ad blocker.
I wish that the image was more clear,
Let me go back actually.
whose movement was no doubt not human. God, I wish that the image was more clear.
I'm just trying to figure out how.
Just when I thought
her,
it was about to be all over, the twitching figure stopped, then slowly began to crouch down off camera. And I could no longer see it from behind the seated figure in front of the screen.
Yeah, I know I scare easily.
After
know
my
that if
heart
y'all
began
watch
to
the
slow
game.
down, I leaned in closer to the screen
We'll
to
come back
try
here
to
with
get
it.
a better view of the mysterious
Come back here
figure
with
in
it.
front of me. Then to my surprise,
You
the
started moving.
seated figure leaned in as well.
It's you. You should have known that it was you from the echo. She's not making sense right now. It's just she set herself up for all of this stuff, and she about to die. Like, Jump scare incoming in 3, 2, 1. Just know I am watching. If y'all see my eyes go left and right, I got 2 monitors up, so I'm watching it from both sides.
This guy's mimicking me?
This a guy? You don't think it's a girl? Okay, music's getting intense. I just want this jump scare to come already. Like, what is we building up to?
I then noticed
She
a
about to
small
die.
light at the top of my computer monitor. A steady green light.
You're being recorded, Missy.
It was then I noticed that my camera lens was extremely dusty. It's a wonder that the figure on the other end could not even see me.
Your lens that dusty? Jesus.
I reached
you can
my
see
sleeve
everything in the back. It's just
and gently wiped
That's
the
crazy.
dust
That dust
off the monitor
fixated right on
camera.
your thing.
The second my gaze returned to my screen, I felt my heart begin to race. The figure I've been staring at this whole time
Silly.
was me.
Silly.
This whole live stream was not a two-way video chat. It was just a recording of me sitting in front of my laptop. Then just like that, the image disappeared from the screen. My mind raced as everything began
screen
to settle
doesn't
in.
have the dust on it like your webcam, and
this
you can
was a
see from the
recording
start
of me,
how does this happen?
That means
Like
that
how
the
does it
figure
go?
behind
Or does the dust just magically
was a
fall in
recording as
place
well.
when you click that link to where it's like that for
I
everybody?
made two mistakes that night. The
That
first was clicking that link, and the second was looking under my table.
Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay, not really a jump scare, but that did have me on my feet though. It did have, or not on my feet, but it did have me going there. Like it was starting to settle in. That was good. I actually enjoyed that. I actually liked that. That was a nice build up to it. Like I said, it didn't have it didn't have a jump scare really at all, but I thought something was about to happen, and that's how you make a really, really good like horror game or horror story or whatever it may be, is to the imagination of the audience that's watching. It's leaving it up to their imagination and thinking what's going to happen, and you don't know what's about to happen. So that was really good. That's really good. That's really good. I like that.
I bought a new house. New to us, at least. The house is 60 years old and
60.
comes with all the wonderful trappings
But
of
it
an
looks
older
like it's about
home.
150.
Damaged
160.
walls, dirty closets, a
200
leaky roof,
and
and a
60
group
maybe.
of mice.
60
The thing
years
that
old,
annoys
you
me
look
the
like that.
most, though,
It's
is
crazy.
the growth chart of the previous residents' children. On the wall of the master bedroom closet are successive tick marks in pen, not pencil, because they were horrible people who had no respect for their home. Each
Yeah, we can
one
tell
was
that.
named and dated. Timothy, 1083. Krabby, 585. My husband entered and asked.
Still staring at that, huh?
Kind of. He came
He
close
looked like he
to
just
examine the
looked like
wall.
a serial killer,
Huh.
honestly. ain't gonna
I
lie
thought the
to you.
previous owner only had 2 kids.
Yeah, she did. So?
Well, why are there 3 names?
What do you mean?
Okay,
David walked over and
music was
pointed to a
unnecessary.
tick mark. It was one of the shortest
act
ones,
like we
only a
revealed
few
something
feet off
profound.
the ground, marked not with Timothy or Krabby, but the name
like,
Noah. I scanned the rest of the marks, but there was no other mark for Noah, just the one. Huh, that's weird.
Maybe they had a child that died young.
Oh no, it's probably not that. Probably a friend just wanted to be measured or something.
Maybe.
I already felt badly for the previous owner.
Why couldn't it have been
She
the
was
first
an
one?
older woman, or so we heard, and this house had been in foreclosure when we bought it.
Y'all ain't gonna
Had
fix
she
the house up.
lost a
The
child
wall still
in
cracked
addition
up.
to
You
a
still got
home?
cobwebs up on the ceiling. Like,
Over the coming days,
Gee.
the tick marks weighed on my mind, not only because of the tragedy. David and I were in the midst of trying to conceive our first child,
Okay.
and the tick marks felt like a cruel mockery of how long it was taking. And so, every time I opened the closet to get dressed, my eyes shot down to that one tick mark, Noah. Sometimes I'd be depressed about not being pregnant.
it's crazy.
Can
how
we
things
paint the closet?
like that trigger?
Yeah,
you.
I guess.
Ain't that crazy?
But, you know, it'd be better to do that in a few months when I'm off, or...
Please, it's really
Like,
bothering
he
me.
really giving me serial
He
killer vibes,
sighed.
honestly. Not even gonna lie to you.
Okay, sure.
So we
Like, it's
picked
his
up
eyes,
the paint,
his
a
beady
beautiful
little
blue
eyes.
color, like the color of the sky in the morning. The next day, after breakfast, I went back up to the bedroom and began emptying
That ain't the husband,
closet.
Can't be.
I was halfway through my rack when I saw it. A little bit of red cloth poked out from all the business grays and whites of my wardrobe.
Oh, she said
I
cloth.
pushed
I
apart
thought
the
she said
hangers.
claw.
What?
I'm like,
On
I'm
the
looking for a
rack
claw. I don't
hung
see
a
it.
kid's outfit, a red shirt and denim overalls. It looked old, but not old in a worn
Everything
way.
in that house is
It
old.
was crisp and clean, but the denim
These
was
music,
faded,
this is music,
and the
like these
style
little
of the
sound
shirt
effects they
looked
doing.
dated.
This
David?
wrong time,
I
wrong
asked.
time.
He turned from his clothes, an old t-shirt hooked on his arm.
What?
What's this?
Huh. I have no idea. Maybe the owners left it here?
I'm pretty sure the closet was empty when we moved in.
Maybe we missed it.
I think I would have noticed
just
it.
ghosts.
Okay, well,
Ghosts ain't just
either
in the
way,
house. They move.
I'll just go
in
throw
that
it out.
way.
I
All
tried
the
to forget
clothes.
about it. We got busy
Y'all
painting
done.
the house.
It
I
was
waited a
something
few
different. I ain't
days
never
to put my
experienced that
clothes
before. How you
back.
gonna
I didn't want the
move
wall to
in?
smell like paint. It was on Wednesday, and with clothes on my
Man.
arm, I swung the door open and froze. There, at the end of the closet where the tick marks used to be, only one remained. Noah, 1079. The others were completely gone, painted over, but that one remained as if it had bled right through the coats of paint.
David!
He was there in seconds.
Are you okay? Carrie!
The mark! It's still there!
I guess
He
I
was there
missed a spot.
in
I'm sorry.
seconds.
I'll touch it up right now.
We were in deep sleep that night when I woke up hearing a creaking noise. I glanced at my phone and saw it was 3:33 a.m.
Witching hours.
And then I noticed the closet. The doors were open, just a few inches, but it was open and I could see the slice of pitch black among the shadows across the bedroom. Didn't we close it? I started to sweat in fear.
You
Something
sweating
about it
profusely.
didn't feel right.
Why she
at
look like
all. I slowly got
the wife
out of
on
bed,
American Dad?
walked
What's her
across
name?
the room,
Beth.
and the wooden floor creaked a little. I turned on the lights and yanked the doors open. My heart dropped. All over the walls, the name Noah was scrawled across the fresh paint in frenzied
They
strokes
must have messed
of
up
a pen.
on the bottom right
Noah,
there with all the
Noah,
scribbles.
Noah, stretching
They
up
must
to
not
the
know how to
ceiling
spell
and
their
down
name
to
at
the
first.
floor. I leapt back from the closet and began to scream.
We need to call the police. Someone's been in here.
It's crazy.
Just calm down.
Calm down.
Look at it.
Someone broke in and wrote
It
all
is
over our fucking
crazy.
wall.
David squeezed my hand.
I'm gonna go get you a cup of water, okay?
Need to
What?
get her a couple
Do you think I'm
towels,
making
too.
it up?
Shit.
Go look in there for yourself.
He didn't reply.
I mean,
He just
that's all you
got
gotta
up
do.
from bed and started for the stairs.
It's right there.
then
He act like he had to
it
go on a
happened.
scavenger hunt to find it.
In the
Bro,
corner
just
of my
take
eye,
2 seconds.
I saw the clothing move. The row of dark blazers on the right, just a soft rustle a few feet off the ground, like a child was moving through them. I grabbed the closet door, slammed it shut, and retreated to the bed, shaking, terrified.
David!
I finally screamed. Footsteps on the stairs. He burst back
Was he
in
there in
holding
seconds
a cup
this
of
time?
water, the liquid sloshing in the glass.
What? What happened?
There's someone. I
These
saw
walls,
the clothes
though.
move. Oh, God.
Y'all painting everything
oh, God, I
but the chip
swear I
wall?
saw
Like,
a
is it
child in there.
aesthetic? Y'all want it there?
Okay,
Like,
okay.
David walked toward
y'all
the
done painted
closet,
this closet
clearly
600
not
times and you
believing
still
me.
ain't hit them walls yet.
I gripped the covers, too scared to move. He swung the door open, half closing it behind him.
Are we just not going to
Holy
address? I
shit.
was about to say, are you not going to
David's
address
voice was slightly muffled.
You're right. There's writing everywhere.
Get out of there. I swear to you, I saw someone in there.
There's no one in here. I'm searching through all the clothes.
except the
His
ceiling?
voice abruptly cut off.
David?
Silence.
David!
I pulled myself out of bed. My heart pounding in my chest, I started for the closet. The golden light spilled out of the opening onto the carpeted floor. I stood in
That's a
front
nice
of it,
little setup
just
right
a
there.
few feet from the opening.
David?
I whispered. Not silence this time. A soft giggle. A child's giggle. I pulled the door open. David
he outta
stood
there.
in the middle of the room, absolutely still. His face
Oh,
was frozen
shocked.
in a horrible expression of fear. And down on the floor,
That looked like
oh
shock to
God,
me.
the sight of it brought bile into my throat. Not a ghost child, not a dead body, a woman. She sat on the floor, nestled among our clothes.
Can we see?
Ragged gray
Oh.
hair tangled around her face, a wild look in her eyes, a
I
pen
gotta
in
get
her
the
hand.
fuck up out of there.
She opened her mouth.
Y'all gotta get
but
up out of there.
instead
Like,
words,
it's yours.
Instead of speaking
It's your
to
house.
us, she let out a high-pitched giggle, trying to sound like a child. Then she snapped around to us and stared
ain't
at
brushed
us
her
with
teeth
wild
since
blue eyes.
1947.
She whispered,
This is home.
Yikes.
And you have
Need some
taken
Carmex.
it.
Just
David
the one
screamed,
pop
and we
bump on her
both
nose.
came out
Like,
of the
ooh.
closet,
Wait.
locking it
She
behind
probably
us.
Smell like
The cops came after
a
15
dead
minutes.
possum and skunk
They
mixed.
took that old woman
Like,
into custody,
ugh.
and later she was
Ugh.
identified as the
I couldn't
previous
imagine.
family's housemaid.
I could not imagine.
She and the owner had an illicit affair, the result of which was their son, Noah. But one day, the owner's wife found out the truth, and she killed the boy.
What?
The body was never found, though,
Okay.
and the maid lost her mind. She was sent to a mental institution to get looked after.
Killed the boy for
The cops
what?
are hoping, once her condition betters, she'll be able to tell them herself what exactly happened.
Moving into a new home can be a very stressful
I can't believe
situation,
that, though. That's
especially when you're a single parent.
All right.
My wife passed away in a
Onward.
car accident several years ago, and Thomas, our son, was too young to remember her. At that time, we had a plan to
Obviously.
move together to a beautiful house in a gated community.
I don't think that
And
was
to honor
was
her,
needed
I
to be
worked as
said.
hard as I could.
What's known
And even
don't
though
need
it
to
took a
be-
few
what's
years,
the saying?
I managed to
What's
buy it.
understood don't need to be said.
My mother, Carmen, was a very old woman, so she agreed to move in with us, as she would be a great help in taking care of little Thomas.
He got
I took
the,
a few days off work and
that
started the
coconut
move on
bowl
my
head
own.
From
Thomas
Ned's
was very well
Declassified. Y'all
behaved,
remember that show?
so I could leave him with Carmen while I
Dating
finished
myself
moving.
there a little bit.
Everything was going great until one night before going back to my mother's house. Someone rang the doorbell of my new house. Do
What's
you
up with
need
his
something,
cheeks?
sir? I spoke to him from behind the door with
Like,
distrust. There
don't
was no
even say
way I was
nothing.
gonna let this freak in.
You shouldn't
Nice
even
to
say
meet you,
nothing.
new neighbor. I just came to say hello.
Could you take
My
the mask
name
off, buddy?
is the Watcher.
The voice of the
Watcher.
man behind the door terrified me, but I managed to keep my composure and answer him. Nice to meet you,
could be
Mr.
doing
the
too much.
Watcher.
Why are you talking to this man?
If you don't
Clearly
mind,
crazy.
I gotta get on with the move.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. My apologies. Before I go, let me give you a warning. This house
A
is
warning.
very important to my family. My grandparents watched over it for generations.
A warning.
My father did too before he passed away, and my son will do it when I am no longer in this world. But for now, I am in charge, so I must ask you to desist from moving.
Listen, I don't know who the hell you think you are, but I'm not going anywhere. So why don't you get off my property before I get you off, you damn lunatic?
Before I
Very
you,
well
you
then.
should have led with that.
Nice to
Like,
meet you.
I don't
I'm
understand
sure
why
I'll be
we had to
seeing
get
you
to
and
all
your
of this
family soon.
before
Furious at this response,
you
I inserted
finally
the key in the
just-
door, unlocked it, and confronted this person. What did you just say? But when
Where
I
he was
opened the
going.
door, there
Of
was no one
course,
there.
like, bro.
This person had
Like,
already
what if he
left.
had a knife or a
A few
gun or
days
something?
later,
You open
my
the door,
family
now
and I
you
moved
brave.
in.
You've been
Thomas
talking
was
to this
very
man
happy
behind the
with his
door the
new
whole
house,
time. Now you brave.
But no matter how much time we spent there, I wasn't going to forget about the encounter with this guy. As the days went by, strange things began to happen. I felt I was being watched at all times. I saw silhouettes at night and
Yo,
even
he
heard
tripping.
voices in empty rooms.
That one conversation got
I was the
him
only one in my family
tripping.
that noticed this. Was I paranoid? Or
You
was I
tripping.
just more alert? Whatever the
Or
answer,
was I just more alert?
I
don't
wasn't going
think
to
that's
take
it,
any
buddy.
chances, so I set up cameras all over the house. The cameras were connected to my cell phone, so when I went to work, I could see
He
everything
got
that
some
went on in
clear-ass
my
nails. I
house.
wish my nails was
The
that
worst day of my life
It's
would
crazy.
come just 3 weeks after I moved in. I was having coffee in my office, as there wasn't much going on that day, Bored, I decided to take a look at the cameras, but something caught my attention. The camera in Thomas's room wasn't working. I looked all over the house for my son, but no camera could find him. I saw Mom in the dining room, so I called her. Hey, Mom, could you see if Thomas is okay? He's in his room, but the camera isn't working.
You should relax a little, son. Thomas is very responsible. He won't get in trouble.
Like, are they cold?
I know. I won't bother you with this too often.
They
it's
cold
just
or
now
they
that
powder
we just
in their
moved
nose
in.
and cheeks
I hid my
every day?
encounter with the Watcher from her. I didn't want to scare her.
All right, I'll go see if he's okay, and I'll call you. You stay calm.
Thank
gotta
you.
be they cold.
I felt more relieved.
Mimics, maybe?
I could see through the cameras how my mom stood up with difficulty and went to the stairs.
I don't
Meanwhile,
think that with the
it
difficulty
occurred to
was
me to see if the
necessary.
microphone of Thomas's camera
I don't
was still
think that was
working.
necessary.
And to my
With
terror,
difficulty.
it was working perfectly.
The
you
house
an
has
ass.
chosen
You an
you,
ass for that.
little Thomas. Your destiny could have been another, but the greed of your father ended up marking your destiny.
That was the voice of the Watcher. He was in Thomas's room.
I
Not
don't
only
understand
could
how
I hear
people have
him,
conversations
but I
with
could
people
hear
like
the
this,
faint
and
cries
then just
and
go on about
babblings
life
of
like
a
it's
child.
normal.
Had he
Like-
done something to my son? I ran out of my office, spilling coffee all over my desk, and with my car keys in hand, I called the police and told them everything. I also tried to call Carmen, but she didn't pick up. As soon as I got into my
These
car, I
additional
accelerated
details
with all my
is really
strength
taking me out,
and looked at
'cause-
the cameras almost without paying attention to the road. The only camera where something was happening was the one on the stairs, where I could see
Damn,
Carmen climbing
she
them
moving
slowly.
slow
While the camera
as hell.
focused on my mother, I heard
You
my
still
son's
ain't-
babbling and the voice
She
of
just
the
got out the
psychopath
kitchen.
in the background.
This
You
man
should
ran
know that the
a
house
full
has a
sprint,
life of its own.
few hundred yards.
It's a secret
He
that
almost
we passed
home
down
already. He coulda just
from generation
did it
to
himself.
generation in my family. The house is angry. The house rejects dirty people like you, your father, and even your sweet grandmother. But don't worry, little one. I know a way to purify all of you.
Crazy.
It's the one your father chose, and thanks to him, you can be part of the house forever.
Part of the
Listening
house.
to this psychopath
Wow.
only made me accelerate faster and faster. I needed
If
to
he
save my
get
family.
to this house before this grandma
My
get
mother
in
could
this
do
room,
nothing
I
against
swear
this
to you.
man. Without realizing I had condemned her too. What was I thinking? I couldn't stop looking at the camera, praying for a miracle to happen, for my mother to escape, or better yet, to somehow save my son first. Not only did a miracle not happen, but another tragedy did. As I was looking at the camera, I heard a loud braking noise outside the car, and when I looked up, my car was colliding with another car. It all happened in an instant.
That's obvious.
But I immediately realized that it was my fault.
Put
The last
the
thing I saw was the glass of my
phone
window
on the
shattering from the
dashboard
impact.
and look
a
at it
second
that
later,
way.
I saw nothing.
Or it's 2022.
I woke up in pain
Don't you
in
got
the
a
hospital
dock?
while a nurse
Everybody
was
got
changing
docks
my
in their
pillow.
cars. Like, what you doing?
When she saw me, she called the police. And within seconds, I was accompanied by two officers, a woman and a man. What happened? How long was I here?
Calm down, sir. You were unconscious for 3 days. You
3
were
days.
involved in a car accident.
Well, obvious.
You were driving very fast. It's a miracle there were no fatalities.
Thomas, what happened to my family? I was on my way home. There was a man in my house.
I know this isn't easy to hear, but neither of them survived. They were both victims of a murderer we caught later that day.
Wow.
After this, the woman continued to give me the details, but I could no longer hear anything. When I returned home, there was no trace of anything. Neither of the
Wow.
criminal nor of
I
my
wouldn't even be
family.
going back.
I
Like,
started to cry.
you can have
Remembering how
everything
every
in this
time
house.
I entered the house, the screams of my son, who, according to the police, died of asphyxiation, although he had multiple knife wounds.
That's
Those
crazy.
memories flooded the house. I had
Wow.
lost my cell phone, but I still checked the cameras in my house, and even though I couldn't see my son, I could see how the Watcher came out of his room, grabbed Carmen's hair, and threw her down the stairs.
Wow.
Her death wasn't quick, as she had some time to drown in her own blood. At the end of the
Just
video,
the worst possible
the man
scenarios.
stood there waiting for me at the top of the stairs, but when he saw the police enter my place, he surrendered without resisting. As soon as I finished watching the video, I looked out the window, and there
It's
he
so-
was. The Watcher
Just
who
go.
was staring at the
Leave.
house from the sidewalk. I
Leave.
quickly noticed that it was not the same person, despite wearing the same mask. He was much shorter and thinner, What the psychopath told me was true. When he was gone, his son would replace him. I couldn't take it anymore, so I went to the house where my mother used to live. I thought about taking my own life several times, but I decided I still had a lot of fight left in me. I bought a lot of gasoline, and with some matches, I went to the house where everything had happened. No one else was going to set foot in that damn place.
Okay, that gave me some chills right there.
The story you're about to see
Next story.
is inspired by true events. This happened in the early days of our marriage. My husband and I were looking for a comfy house in a good neighborhood. It was hard to find the perfect home, but we got lucky. At least, that's what I thought. The house was more than beautiful. A 2-story house with a pool in the backyard and a small garden in the front. We threw a small housewarming party, inviting our close friends and family. My husband, Marlon, loves taking videos and pictures at any social events. That day, too, he roamed around the backyard, holding his camera and recording all the guests.
Bloodshot red.
Everyone danced, got drunk, and played volleyball in the pool.
Buddy,
Marlon and I were sitting in the corner, watching everyone feel so happy. He kissed me on the forehead. We were excited about our new life together. My friends forced Marlon to carry me inside the house. Marlon did, and my brother took a video of us. We all had dinner after that, and everyone left. I changed into my pajamas, and we called it a night. The next morning, when I woke up, I saw Marlon's note stuck to the bedstand.
Didn't want to wake you up. I had breakfast. I'll see you at dinner. Love. Take care.
A smile came to my face, and I got down from the bed. I went to the kitchen, made some bread, bacon, and eggs, and poured a glass of orange juice, then sat down on the couch to eat. The house felt so quiet. It was morning, and I could see the birds flying in the sky from the window, but I couldn't hear them. The house felt like a different world altogether.
Made sure of that.
Suddenly, I heard a low thud in the bedroom. I went to check and found Marlon's camera on the floor. It must have fallen off the bedstand. I went back to the couch and started playing the videos of our party. At one point, the house-entering moment
gust of
popped
wind
up,
flew
and I
through the
played
house.
it. Marlon was carrying me in his arms, and I was laughing. The door of the house was open behind us, and suddenly, a close shiver ran down my spine. I paused the video and rewound it a little. And there it was.
That is crazy.
A weird-looking
that's always
woman
been a fear of
figure
mine, like looking through
behind
pictures,
the door. And then
or like if you got your camera on at
wink.
night and just seeing something.
It looked
like this
very
crazy.
creepy because her hair.
Why we got to
like
keep showing this?
Needles, and her eyes were glowing in the dark. Suddenly, the window opened on its own, and a gust of wind blew into the house.
There go that wind that knocked the camera
I ran to
off.
close the window and saw big, dark clouds in the sky. Soon, a thunderstorm, followed by wild rain, began. The atmosphere got even creepier. I told myself it might be some friend pulling a prank on us. I finished my breakfast and decided to organize the house.
Themselves.
The entire afternoon went by.
Rigged your window
I went to
to
take
open
a bath before starting dinner.
as a thunderstorm.
The storm
they're
was
a
over by
meteorologist
then,
as well.
but it
It's
was
a
still
thunderstorm
raining.
sweeping through.
As I turned on
Like,
the
think about
bathroom
that.
tap, instead of water, a slimy, rancid liquid came out.
Oh my god.
I quickly closed the tap. Whatever came out was lying on the bathroom floor.
Why did that
I
suck
could
back
spot
up like
a
that?
cluster of black hair in that dump. Feeling awful, I came out of the bathroom and called the plumber. By the time he fixed the tap, Marlon was already home.
Hey, what's going on?
Don't even ask.
He hugged me, and I told him everything.
Well, you found the solution, so the problem's gonna be solved.
But he got his
How
ass
about
beat at work.
we
Got two
order
black
from the
eyes.
new Chinese place around the block?
You are a sweetheart.
too. Okay, never
We
mind.
smiled
That's the
and
design.
kissed. The plumber left, and things got back to normal. After dinner, I went to take my bath. Clear water came out of the tap and filled the bathtub. I felt relaxed lying in it.
You're soaking.
As I picked up my glass of wine to take a sip, something fell from the ceiling into my glass.
Okay.
It was a furry, ugly thing, and it was a mouse.
Ah!
I screamed and jumped out of the bathtub,
Look
spilling
up
the
to
glass
see where it
into
came
the tub.
from. A mouse
The
ain't
mouse
just gonna
was
fall
dead,
out of
and
nowhere.
it had no head. The headless body of the mouse floated on the tub, and Marlon rushed into the bathroom, hearing my scream.
What? What happened?
Where did that
He ain't
come
as quick as the
from?
last husband.
Oh, God!
Last husband
What
was
is
there in
that?
seconds.
A headless mouse?
There's something wrong with this house.
Come on, Shelly. Calm down. It's just a mouse that somehow chopped off its head.
Stop joking.
Somehow
I'm serious.
chopped off his own
There's
head.
someone
It's
in our
just like,
video, too.
Do y'all hear
Now
yourselves when y'all
you
be
are
saying this?
overthinking, I guess.
I can show you.
I grabbed his camera and showed it to him. Marlon wrote it off, saying it was someone at the party, and we fought.
Somebody in the party.
And I decided to sleep on the couch.
Who at your party looked
It
like
was
that?
probably around 2 or 3 a.m. when I felt pressure on my neck. As I opened my eyes, I saw Marlon standing next to the couch, holding a knife in one hand and choking me with the other. His eyes were white, like he was
he enjoying
possessed
that.
by something evil.
It-
I
they-
gagged and screamed.
Marlon!
Yeah, he was enjoying that.
Marlon!
He
little
woke
bit too
up from
much.
the trance and let me go immediately. He was shocked to notice a knife in his hand. I started crying.
What were you? You were trying to kill me?
No. No.
Boy,
What,
put
what
the knife down.
How did I get here?
Damn.
Before I could explain, a demonic low growl took place.
Okay,
And
at least
I
it's
did
making
not
itself
doubt
known.
that the sound
Demons
came
like to
from
play
my
around.
dear husband,
Oh,
Marlon.
how he get
His
possessed?
body language changed in a wink. He became still, facing the
Teeth
ground.
done changed too.
He
We ain't
started
gonna announce that.
breathing heavily while making that repressed growl.
Marlon, what is happening to you?
I got up from the couch and slowly backed toward the main door when a shadowy woman figure rushed out of Marlon's
Wow.
body and came
Into you.
running at me. Her eyes were glowing in the dark and her hairs
Mess.
were sharp like needles. I saw Marlon collapse on the floor and the shadow passed through me before I could even move a step.
Didn't
I
go through
felt
you.
excruciating pain all over my body. Blood came out of my nose as if some vein had popped inside my brain. Marlon was gagging while his body trembled in shock. I somehow walked to him and called out to him. After 10 minutes or so, he finally woke up. It felt
doing
like
that
we
for
had
10
both
minutes?
survived a near-death
Wow.
experience.
What's up?
We left the house and went to stay with Marlon's parents, who lived close by.
That demon
The
attached to
next
y'all now.
morning, when we came back for
And you-
our stuff, we found the house in a mess. Everything was broken, shattered, torn into pieces like a tornado had gone through here. We left the house with whatever was remaining of our stuff and called the bank. The house came to us through a bank auction, so we never knew anything about its history. What the bank told us still gives me nightmares. The house was built by a man named Dalton Canick, who lived there with his wife, Paris. Paris was a suspicious woman with extreme anxiety. She would always think her husband was
Look how she
having an
looking.
affair. The suspicion grew into an obsession, and one night, Paris murdered her husband in that house.
Wow, for
When the
what?
cops came
You
to
ain't even got
arrest her,
proof for nothing.
she had slit her wrists
Wow, that's
in
crazy.
that bathtub.
That's crazy to think about.
Marlon wanted to sue the bank for false information, but I stopped him. The bank got us a new house, bigger
Oh.
than that one, at the same price as the
Okay.
concession. We are quite
That's
happy
only when
here,
life really
but
works like
whenever
that.
I think about that night and that shadowy figure, I
That
get
demon is
panic
attached to
attacks.
y'all.
The fact that the evil entity
To her
of Paris
specifically, probably.
won't allow any married couple to live in that house happily scares me to sleep. I hope no one
Scares you to
ever
sleep.
buys that house.
Maybe the night that my tears might let me know all is not closer.